要数今年拍卖市场上最火爆的女性艺术家琳恩·特雷克斯勒绝对是其中之一。今年5月，佳士得的一场拍卖会上，琳恩的作品《赫伯特花园》以超出估价14倍的价格成交，创下150万美金的个人最高拍卖纪录。4年前，当我为私人客户们推荐这位艺术家时，他还鲜为人知。客户仅花费了几万美金，就购得了他最具代表性的大尺幅画作。由此可见，价格神话离我们并不遥远。市场数据表明，琳恩·特雷克斯勒的10大高价作品均于2022年3月后成交，他的市场才刚刚开始成长。今年10月，纽约著名画廊 Berry Campbell Gallery 为艺术家举办的个展瞩目亮相。开幕前夕，不仅所有展品都已售罄，且等待名单长达100位，其中不乏全球最顶级的机构、富豪和名流。本期视频，我特别邀请到了画廊主 Christine Berry 带我们品鉴琳恩职业生涯中黄金时期的投资级佳作。Hello, Christine.
Hello.
So happy, so wonderful to see you again. Congratulations on this landmark exhibition. I counted this year I have visited over 400 galleries so far. This show is the top one on my list.
Oh.
Please tell us more about this artist and the current exhibition.
We've really been waiting for this show for a long time. We have worked with the estate of Lynne Drexler now for 2 years, organizing this exhibition. These are works by Lynne Drexler, who is really the talk of the town. She is someone who was exhibited in the 1950s, a woman of abstract expressionism, but kind of got left behind. Her story was a little bit untold. And recently, her story has gotten out there, and it's a wonderful, amazing story, and people are looking back and realizing how wonderful these amazing paintings are. So we've decided to put a show together of her work from the 1960s. It is a joint exhibition with Minuchin Gallery, and we both have 2 very different shows that complement each other of works from the 60s. So their works are from 1959 to 1964, and all of our works are 1965 to 1969. Lynne Drexler has such an amazing story. She was born in Virginia, a good Southern family, came to New York to study with Hans Hofmann. Hofmann felt like she was one of his best students. In fact, he let her take classes, the morning classes and the evening classes. She also went to Provincetown to study with him. You can absolutely see this idea of push-pull. So even though her style here is getting more geometric, you can see that the idea of space and space relationships are so important to her, and so is color. She then goes to study with Robert Motherwell. So Hofmann wrote a letter to get her into Hunter College and said, you have to study with Robert Motherwell. And she felt that Motherwell further inspired her with his idea of drawing and just compositionally how she could move the canvases. She joined the 8th Street Club, which is Willem de Kooning's club that all the artists gathered at. And this is where she met her husband, John Hultberg, who was at the time more well known than she was. And he was represented by a big gallery, and that gallery did not represent Lynne Drexler. She showed with Tanager Gallery, which was an artist cooperative started by Lois Dodd, Philip Pearlstein, Alex Katz. And so this Tanager Gallery really gave her a chance to show her work. It was her first solo show, was in 1961. And then she showed here and there throughout her career, but there weren't really that many shows. In fact, this show in New York is her first show in New York in 38 years.
Wow.
It's incredible. So we're so pleased. They're so fresh. We're so glad to have the show.
This painting titled Vitality is one of my favorite paintings in this whole show. I think it's a masterclass in using color to express her inner feelings. I always feel so enlightened and energized standing in front of her works.
Yes, I think Vitality, just the title, is energetic, bright, the red, you look great with this, the colors. If you get up close, which I know it's hard to see on camera, but there's beautiful little stippling of paint here, little dots, very post-impressionist-like. A lot of people relate her work to Van Gogh or Bonnard or Klimt. There's so many art historical references you can make for this amazing work. We're really excited about this exhibition. There was an editorial in the New York Times about a week ago, and it really stirred up even more interest. This entire exhibition is sold out. We're so very excited about that. The newspaper illustrated this painting smoked green in the newspaper, which was just gorgeous. So this example has a few more ovals here, a different kind of movement to it. I'm glad they chose this painting. There's a lot going on with Lynne Drexler, not just in New York City. This is sort of the center of what's happening right now, but she's also included in a major exhibition in Hong Kong. So I expect that there's going to be a lot of shows internationally in the next year or so. We're also going to be exhibiting her work at Art Basel Miami this December as well. So many good things happening for Drexler and Drexler's market.
Her works in the 60s are very rare, and in my opinion represent the most iconic Lynne Drexler style. We have seen some spectacular auction results recently. Herbert's Garden at Christie's was sold for $1.5 million. I believe there's a confidence in these prices continuing to rise, given the players involved.
Absolutely. I mean, there's more now, more than 3 or 4 over $1 million auction records. So everyone's sort of caught on. So I'm glad you're here so you can experience this with us. So this painting, we're so thrilled, is entering into a museum collection. It was just acquired last week for a major museum in the South. What I love that they chose about this painting is these, in our exhibition, these are the later 60s works, so 1967, 68, 69, and you can see how her style changes here. There's almost these swirling patterns, and I think there's a lot to talk about with Lynne Drexler. She was interested in textiles, she embroidered, she sewed, she quilted, and this was something that she was doing all along, so you can see this patterning is important to her. And I think this sort of segues into what is coming next for her work. So she painted all through the 70s, and this morphs into a little bit more geometric painting. And then by the 1980s, she moves to Monhegan Island in Maine full-time. So at this time, she's going back and forth. In the 80s, she goes back and she's starting to make representational paintings, landscape paintings, still lifes, seascapes. They're beautiful. So we look forward to doing more exhibitions of her work.
I love this painting, especially the pink color. And this painting reminds me of Van Gogh's Swirly Sky and Gustav Klimt's geometric brushworks.
It's like Starry, Starry Night.
Yes.
What's wonderful when you're organizing an exhibition, not only are you looking at paintings, oil paintings, but you're also looking at works on paper. And for Lynne Drexler, there's a wonderful body of works on paper, and these are very finished, full works of art. You can see the size of this paper is very large, and they relate directly to the paintings we were just talking about. There's a whole magic going on in these works, and we could do a whole show of works on paper.
I'm very familiar with these two works because they are collected by my clients.
Thank you very much for that.
And thank you for offering the opportunity. From my perspective, these two works on paper are as strong as her paintings. She used wax crayon, which gives the quality of oil paint. And I really like the dynamic relationship of color and shape.
This painting, you can see, is really a culmination of all of her work. It's sort of a masterwork of the color, of the composition, the scale. This is just an incredible painting. We're so happy to have it in the show. We're so pleased to exclusively represent the estate. This is an honor for us, and we look forward to many more exhibitions to come.
I think Berry Campbell Gallery is playing a significant role in bringing recognition of female artists who have been overlooked by the art history, and you are rebuilding the legacy that Lynne Drexler long deserves. I'm very honored and very happy to be part of it.
Thank you so much for all you do for us.
那我们今天的画廊私访就先到这里。虽然琳恩的作品如今在全球市场上一座难求，但作为画廊多年的合作伙伴，我们非常愿意为兼具实力与品味的中国藏家提供一级市场优先购藏的机会。如果你对琳恩·特雷克斯勒的作品感兴趣，可以在视频下方找到我们的联系方式。如果你喜欢本期的视频，别忘了点赞、评论、收藏、转发。我们下期见啦！